Okay, so we're gonna start the second half, and if any of you have done the shape builder exercises like in Illustrator, this is kind of maybe a good way to look at that. So we're gonna start to kind of work into some more, a little bit more complex forms now. So the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna just kind of add simple forms that I already know and work from there. So I'm gonna do just a simple oval. And then underneath that, I'm gonna put another oval and then another oval down here. I'm gonna just kind of overlap them. So I'm gonna take my 2B pencil, gonna outline them. I kind of want them to sit on top of each other, so I'm not gonna draw that line. So now it kind of looks like a snowman. So I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put some circles in here, some ellipses. I'm gonna do that on all three of them. Okay, so now I've done it on all three of them. I'm just gonna do the same thing. That I've done on all the other ones. But I'm gonna kind of try to match up some of these. So I'm gonna try to match up some of these lines with these lines, just so I kind of know the shapes are working together. So, not gonna match up all of them. I'm gonna try to match up some. So we kind of get the idea. So now, that's telling me that these are gonna go under, and right down in here where they touch, it's gonna be really dark when I go to do my values. But I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make some contour lines the other way. So it's not just only one way, just like we did on the other ones. So it almost looks like a snowman now, or kind of like a blob. And you can kind of see how interesting it can actually be now if we were to put some shadows on there, that kind of stuff. So let's see, let's do, okay, my next one, we kind of had like, no, we kind of had like an egg shape. So I'm gonna kind of have my egg shape right here. Now I'm just gonna add, I can add whatever I want on here. Well, I'm just gonna kind of make it simple. And I'm gonna put a circle up there. So I'm gonna do this. So you can see I'm just taking the simple shapes that I already know and doing the same thing that I did with the other ones. And I'm stopping right here at the edge where these two meet, and then I'll match them up in just a minute. So I didn't want to put an extra line right there, and I'll show you why, because they're going to meet in a second. And even though by now we probably know where the shadows would go in these shapes, just doing these exercises is going to really give us more of a concrete understanding of how forms work. So I'm going to put them the different way in the ball. Now I'm going to take these that match it so now I can see how this shape goes into this shape. So now you can kind of see how the bottom shape works into this shape. And then obviously maybe this middle one could be our core shadow. Now really dark down here because it sucks in further. We can kind of see how these two shapes work together now. So let's do another one. Let's kind of do the hourglass type one again. But I'm gonna make it really like a big bulb. And then let's see, maybe I'm gonna do kind of a shape, I don't know, kind of looks like a cactus or something. So I'm just once again adding shapes to shapes that I already know. So we're creating more complex shapes by combining simpler shapes, just like it is. It's like a shape builder. And this will help you with knowledge when you start to draw more complex stuff like the figure, like the muscles, portraits, the face, if you draw vehicles, whatever. These concepts are going to help you understand how that works when you get to, you know, like figure drawing classes or want to do more complicated stuff. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to put my little circles in here. And I'm going to kind of tilt these a little, because kind of the way you make the rings, if you tilt them, you can make your object looks like it's at kind of a tilt. And that'll help you decide better once again where to put your values and your shading when you get to that point. So this one, I tilted a little. If you notice, my rings are kind of more at a side than they are like this. They're kind of going more like this. Once again, let's do one more down here. So now I kind of stopped once again. Let's put one more in here so we can add one up in here. So now I'm going to go through up here and I'm going to do the same thing. And now I'm going to take these that I've already made . And I can make one go this way. So now it's three-dimensional for me. And whenever I connect these, it just shows that it's working, you know, in harmony with this this shape right here. So now let's go through and put some contour lines in this one. We'll put one down the middle. Okay, so now we have three little bit more complex shapes, nothing more extreme, super extreme, but we're gonna do a few exercises and we're just gonna get a little more complex. So over here, I'm gonna make myself, I guess, kind of a hot dog shape. And then you know, do another one up here. So, I don't want that one, I want this one. So I like to draw my shape with the H pencil, then go back and outline it with the 2B. Okay, so now we have this. I'm gonna erase that. So once again, we're just gonna do the same thing. Let's see. I'm just gonna make my rings again. Now, actually, let's do something a little different here. I'm gonna make this hot dog super curvy, way more than normal. So it's gonna be real round. And depending on the shape of my circles or ellipses, that's gonna make something more round or not. So, and I'll kind of show you on this one. So the shape of your ellipses and the slants of your contour lines is really gonna dictate if the thing's really round or not. So this one I want really round. And I almost drew circles in here, whereas these, like on this one, it's kind of more ellipses. These, if I were to draw this all the way around, they're almost circles. So that's what's gonna give the appearance of something to be way more round as opposed to more oval. So you get the idea that this is really curvy, really round, that sort of thing. So now I'm just gonna kind of draw some contour lines in here the other way. So this gives the appearance that this is very, very round. Now, maybe up here, I want this one, you know, not really round at all. I want it to be pretty narrow. I kind of want it to look a little more flat, just for some contrast. So, if you look at these are really pretty oval. So the more oval this shape is going to read as a little more flat. So you can see how this one looks a little more flat, this one looks more round. So it just kind of depends. The more oval your insides are, your thing is going to appear taller and more slender. The more circular down in here you have, your shape is going to appear more round. So once again, I'm just doing the same thing. And I mean, mean, a couple of these match up. Obviously, I could go through if I wanted to and throw in a couple just so I can visually see what's going on. Shows that these are meeting this form up here. Just so my eye, I kind of get the idea. I can do that. So now we have this shape right here. Okay, so let's do one more. Let's do this shape. So this one's gonna get start to kind of look a little different and trickier because we're gonna have all of our rings aren't gonna go in the same spots. As you do more of these, the rings aren't gonna work out perfectly. They're just gonna help you have a visual of where to put your values. So here's this shape. So this obviously up here, I'm gonna say is a little shape all by itself. And I'm gonna stop. Same with this one. So essentially, I'm gonna kind of do this in 3 shapes. 1, 2, 3. And as you get to this middle part, it can't be perfect because you'll see in just a second. So now I'm gonna go like this. So even though it's not perfect, these aren't ever gonna match up totally perfectly, but now I'm gonna put in some contour. So I know, and then once again, maybe this, it's gonna come kind of more straight, and then it's gonna curve. That one's gonna go out, and then I'm gonna kind of leave this one because this one, I could actually put another one. So I kind of know this is a shape, this is a shape, and this is a shape. So it's gonna help me decide how I want to shade it. Because none of these are gonna come together